Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for dropping by today. In this channel, I'm hoping to provide you with a holistic view of moving to the Gambia or Africa or, any part of the world that you intend to move to. I think it's important to have a holistic view about the transition. I think that people need to be aware of the realities of moving to a new country. I think it's important not just to bring gossip about, the bad things that are happening in the Gambia, for example. I know that gossip sells on YouTube, but, sometimes it's good to be aware of the realities of living in Gambia, any part of Africa that you're living in. So I will be pointing to aspects of moving that may affect you directly in order to provide a balanced view. I believe that moving to a new country not only requires the physical, but it also involves the emotional, the psychological, the socio-economic factors. So today I will be sharing tips on how to navigate these challenges and the opportunities of moving to Africa from a psychological perspective. So join me as we delve into the different aspects of moving to a new country, including the psychological and the emotional aspects of leaving the familiar behind, the social and the cultural adjustment, and the economic realities of life in Africa. Together we will explore the different strategies and approaches that can help to make the transition a smooth and rewarding one. Of course, we will not be able to cover every aspect in this particular video, but I will be doing some more upcoming videos on this whole topic. So make sure that if you are interested in the topics that are covered on this channel, please go ahead and subscribe, leave your comments, and share the video with your friends or colleagues who are interested to move to another country. So if you're making the move to Africa or you're already living in Africa and you are looking for support and guidance, then this channel is for you. Let us explore the different facets of life in Africa and empower ourselves to live our best life within the continent. So today I'll be looking at the emotional factors. One of the biggest emotional factors that people can experience when they've moved to Africa, to the Gambia, to a new country, is homesickness. Leaving behind friends and family and familiar surroundings can be very difficult, and it is natural to feel a sense of loss or a sense of disorientation in a new country. This can be especially challenging when you're moving to a country with a different language, a different culture that is so far removed from your own. You will find that in the beginning, everything may feel unfamiliar and foreign to you. Another emotional factor to consider is the stress of adjusting to a new surrounding, to a new country, and also adjusting to a new lifestyle. Moving to a new country also involves adapting to a new culture, new norms, new customs, and new social expectations, which can be overwhelming at times. Learning a new language, navigating social dynamics can be all stressful and emotionally taxing. Additionally, there's the process of finding a place to live, setting up a bank account, because to set up a bank account in the Gambia, you need all types of documents. It's not that easy, but over time you will get over these obstacles and you will be able to set up yourself a bank account. And also dealing with the bureaucratic procedures, which you'll find that some of these procedures are totally different from the country that you're coming from. You will find that things may get processed on a much slower pace than what you're actually used to. So this can also be a source of stress and frustrations, especially when you want to get things done really quickly. It is important to be patient and persistent in these situations. and seek out advice from the community, local resources, and from expat communities. You know, these people can really help you out because some people have been there for such a long time. There are ways that they could help you out in some of the difficult situations that you may be facing. They may be able to point you to the right source. Moving to a new country can also impact your mental health. Some people may experience a feeling of anxiety, depression, isolation during the adjustment process. And it is important during this time to prioritize self-care. Make sure that you're looking after yourself. Make sure that you're reaching out for everything that you need, and make sure that you have reliable people around you that you can talk to. While moving to the Gambia can be an incredible experience, it is also important to be aware of the emotional factors that can arise during your transition. Homesickness, as I said before, culture shock, and bureaucratic frustrations are all common challenges. So how do you deal with these challenges? You will need to develop perseverance and resilience and the support of your local community or, other expats in order to help you overcome these challenges that you may face. It is essential to prepare yourself mentally and emotionally to deal with your new way of life and your new surroundings. As soon as I decided to move to the Gambia, I knew that I was doing the right thing, because this nagging feeling, it wouldn't leave me alone, and then eventually I had to give in. It felt like the place where I'm meant to reside. And also, it feels like I felt like I'd actually been here before, so it did not feel foreign to me. But, there were still some little obstacles and things that I needed to work through. So before moving to Gambia, I had to prepare myself emotionally. I started researching everything that I could on different information about the country, its culture and its people. Even though, you're reading about the Gambia, you're seeking information, sometimes it's even better when you are a participant observer, when you're actually in the place. That's when you can gain the most knowledge. But it's important before you move that you gather enough background knowledge to help you when you actually arrive, that the process will not be so daunting. One of the things that I learned about the Gambia was that it's a very friendly and welcoming country. I also learned that the country has a rich cultural heritage with a unique blend of African, Arab, and European influences. I had all kind of emotional things going on, like, I'm going to leave my family behind, I'm going to leave my children behind because some of them might not want to go with me. It was very emotional, but with resilience and perseverance, I was able to get through these emotional factors. In order to combat this, I made sure that there was constant communication between me and the family that I'd left behind. We did this through video calls, constant phone calls, and it just gives you such relief to know that the world can become a smaller place through these video calls and the time that you can spend together with your family. So it's important that, in order to combat some of the feelings that you may be feeling when you actually leave your country, the country that you're used to, is to stay in touch with the people that you've left behind. Stay in constant communication. This really helps. And as time goes by, you will see that these same people that you've left behind will come and visit you from time to time, and it just makes the process so much easier, and it makes the world a much smaller place. To combat any feelings of isolation, I would go to the beach, I would make phone calls to people that I already know in the Gambia, I would meet up with people. This is why it's so important before you actually go to the Gambia, before you move to the Gambia, you start to get to know people, join expat communities and prepare yourself emotionally isolation would not be a good thing when you live in a country where most people are isolated, to come back into a country where you'll be isolated again. So it's important to actually prepare yourself, do your research, and get to know other people who have made the transition before you. You will also find that, you know, there are people in the Gambia who are very, very friendly. Some are very helpful. So you probably wouldn't feel as isolated as you would in your country of origin, meaning as you would coming from the West, because, you know, some parts of the West can be very isolating, where people can be in their house for days and never see anyone. It's not like that in Africa. People are constantly out, people say hello to you, and as time go on, you will be able to make friends, and friends that you learn to trust. You learn to sieve out the wheat from the tares. You know who is good for you, and you come to learn who is actually a good person to know while you're living in the Gambia. So overall, moving to the Gambia is a rewarding and it is a challenging experience. By preparing yourself emotionally and staying open to new experiences, you will be able to cope with the emotional factors or the emotional obstacles to your happiness when you move to the Gambia or when you move to Africa in general. As you go through the process of assimilation and adaptation, you will begin to feel change is not always easy. And whenever you move into a new situation, a new job, a new place to live and so on, there are always obstacles, but these obstacles can be overcome as long as you are aware that you will experience these things, and as long as you find ways to deal with these challenges. So as you go on and life becomes more comfortable, you will begin to embrace your new life. You can decide whether or not it is for you. Remember that nobody is tied to any particular place. So if you make the move and you decide it's not for you, which is really unlikely, then it would be good for you to have a contingency plan of what you will do if you move to a new country and decide that you do not want to stay there. But hopefully, as time goes by, you will be happy with your choice, with your new place that you've decided to live, and you will work your way through the obstacles until you reach level ground where everything is just working the way that you intended for it to work in the first place. So these are my few words about some of the emotional factors, the psychological factors that are associated with moving to a new country. I hope you find these tips helpful, and I will be continuing this series as time goes by, just so we can share and come to realize some of the factors that are associated with moving to a new country. So have yourselves a wonderful day, and please don't forget to leave your comments. And if you're happy with the things that you find on this channel, please go ahead and subscribe and share the video with people who are considering a move to Africa. One love, and have a blessed day.